After years on the run, Sedina Tamakloe-Attionu's legal battle takes a turn as U.S. authorities arrest her, setting in motion extradition proceedings that will finally bring her before Ghanaian courts. Now, the 2024 conviction that ignited this international hunt stemmed from her central role in a multi-million cedi financial scandal. She was convicted alongside Daniel Axim, a former chief operating officer of MASLOC. Just yesterday, Ghana's ambassador to the U.S., Victor Smith, indicated that she's been detained at the Nevada Southern Detention Center located at 2190 East Mesquite Avenue in Nevada. Now, from our legal desk, we'll be speaking to Kweku Asante to take us back in time, to paint a picture of how the scandal broke. But we are currently joined on Zoom by private legal practitioner Martin Kpebu. We're grateful for your time, Martin. Well, she's now been arrested in the U.S. What happens next?
Okay, so it means that the rest of the extradition processes can go on. So the key thing is that in order to do extradition, the accused or suspect or convict has to be arrested first. And so in this case, once he's been arrested, it means that they can now prepare and put him before court. Once he's been actually, certain things were done in order to get an arrest warrant, etc. So let's say the better way to put it is that then the court processes can continue. So the court processes can continue because without the arrest, the extradition proceedings are usually not done. Because if you don't have the person in custody, how are you going to extradite him? That's how come for extradition, you have to keep the person in custody. And the last, I was making this distinction that you see that when a person is arrested for extradition purposes in America, it's almost impossible to get bail. Yes, that's the way they did their law. So when our Supreme Court was analyzing the law in order to do the non-bailable offenses case, that's Martin Kpebu number 2 versus Attorney General number 2. They looked at the U.S. cases and saw how when it is an extradition case, you will never get bail. And then said, no, but for us in Ghana, let's leave it open to the judge. If maybe for some reasons, the judge thinks that this one they will grant bail, sure they would. So that's one difference between Ghanaian law and this U.S. Ghana, the latitude to grant bail in extradition cases is far wider than in the U.S., where it's almost impossible. Right.
How realistically can we see in a Ghanaian court?
So it will take time if only she wants to fight it. So realistically, yes. But the question nobody can tell is when. Yes, the question nobody can tell is when. The reason we say realistically yes is that this one, Sedina Tamakloe, she's been convicted. So the case went on. Whilst the case was pending in the High Court, then she sought leave to go and attend to medical issues and never came back. So she is being convicted. She's a convict. And so the chances are great that she'll be brought back. But then, as the law permits, she may want to fight the extradition process. And so if she wants to fight, then that one, it can go, it will take much longer. Right. And this is where, once again, because she's also a politically exposed person, we will call on NDC to step in. You see the Oforiatta one, I said MPP and Ekufuado should step in and ask Oforiatta to calm down quickly. So I repeat the same thing too for Sedina, but the NDC and President Mahama should step in. To be honest, Sedina, so when the NDC won, I thought she would have quickly come back. Because look, the plain truth is that when because she's a high-profile person, should have gotten better treatment in the prisons. So for me, the moment NDC won, I was like, when this woman calm down quickly come and serve some years, maybe 3 years, and then the president will pardon her. So for all the time she kept staying there, I kept wondering, I was like, really? What's going amiss? Because your party is in office. We are not hiding it. Because her party is in office, she'll get better treatment in the prisons. Well, look, I mean, it's not everything we can say on air. But that would have been the best time to serve, so that you stay in 3 years. 3 years, when the president grants you pardon, not many people will make noise about it, because once you serve 3 years, it's okay. And let's not forget, the prison, these are prison sentences. You don't serve, so when a person is convicted to serve 10 years, most of the time, because of good behavior, we do remission. So you serve 2/3. So if you have a 10-year sentence, you do 6 years, 7 months, roughly. So you divide 10 into 3.
Right.
You get 3.33. So you do 2/3. So this is an easy thing for her to do. So really, she hasn't done well at all by staying there and allowing the U.S. authorities to arrest her. It's poor judgment, very serious lapse of judgment.
So Martin, talking about her sentencing, she was handed 10 years. Well, does that sentence take effect immediately upon the court's conviction, or would she have to start that 10-year term from scratch? I mean, she's been away for some time.
Right now, if we are talking on the face of the law, the 10 years started counting from the day of the conviction. Yeah, from the day of the conviction. So until the law changes otherwise, a sentence takes effect. If you read our Act 30, a sentence takes effect immediately once it's been pronounced. Yes, so that's what we have as our law. So because of that, we have some cases even pending in court where you have an accused person or a convict. He has 3 cases. So Mamiesi, let's say today, 16th January, the person is sentenced to serve 10 years. Then next Monday, 19th January, a different case is sentenced to, let's say, 10 years. And then so on, 3 cases. So then, but the prison authorities have this practice where they say you finish serving the first one before you go to the second, etc. We are challenging that in court. That's just to tell you that this principle that the sentence must take effect on the day it is pronounced is something that currently is a law, and so we can rely on it.
Right, Martin, I'll come back to you. Kweku Asante is with me in the studio to at least, for those who aren't abreast with what led to, this scandal, Kweku is here to give us an update on that. So Kweku, this happened somewhere 2016, 2017, and then I think the trial started somewhere in 2019. Can you take us back to that time?
So the specifics of the accusations had to do with her tenure in office as the chief executive officer of MASLOC. We know that the New Patriotic Party, when they assumed office in 2017, did raise some issues of corruption.
Right.
There was some investigation. The trial began in 2019 in the High Court. At the time, Tamakloe-Attionu was granted a bail with conditions on recognition with 2 sureties. That was Alex Mold and one Sedina Tamakloe. They executed a bail bond of 5 million Ghana cedis. And then the accusation specifically are that she misappropriated 500,000 cedis involving the Obatampa Savings and Loans Funds under MASLOC. She also diverted 1.7 million cedi meant for national sensitization exercise. And then there was an incomplete distribution of 1.4 million cedis meant for victims of a fire incident at Kantamanto. And then that she also inflated procurement costs for vehicle and mobile phones. She was found guilty on all 78 counts by the court. She was sentenced to 10 years imprisonment with hard labor.
Right.
The co-accused, Daniel Axim, was also sentenced to 5 years in prison. And just this week, the Supreme Court has actually granted him bail pending appeal in that matter. And the states then went in and asked for an extradition for Sedina Tamakloe to be brought in. One sticking point is that because she was granted bail to the tune of 5 million Ghana cedi, and then she absconded, the persons who stood surety, Alex Mold and Sedina, had to forfeit 5 million Ghana cedi to the state. The court did make that determination. So this is the chronology in terms of what has happened since the case started in court in 2019 and ultimately her conviction.
Right. Kweku, let me go back to Martin. So with this, Martin, if she finally comes to Ghana and she's taken to court, what kind of processes will kick in?
So, Nancy, as far as I'm aware, now when she comes to Ghana, she'll be sent straight to Nsawam to start her sentence, not to court. She'll go to court if she has an appeal pending. I'm not aware that she has an appeal pending. What Kweku referred to, and it's good we come back to it, while she was standing trial, she was admitted to bail, and Alex Mould and others took surety for her in the tune of 5 million. So you see that when she absconded, then Alex Mould had to pay. Manesi, do you know that, well, on the face of it, that law that Alex Mould should pay instead of going to jail, that is the case of Martin Kweku #1 versus Attorney General #1. So in December 2015, there was a case I took to court, and so the Supreme Court held that when a person absconds, the law is that pay the bail bond. So that's the bail sum, the sum that is written. If the bail sum is 100,000, pay 100. If whatever, in this case, 5 million. So pay that rather than this will go to jail. So that is the improvement the Supreme Court brought into the law. Otherwise, Alex Mould and others would have had to go to jail for 6 months. And it was destroying people's careers. So I took it to court, and then the Supreme Court struck down. That is what we call section. It's a part of section 104 of the Act 30. That used to say 104 subsection 5. It used to say you go to jail for 6 months if you cannot produce the person. But in December 2015, the Supreme Court cancelled the law on the basis that a bail bond is a contract. A bond is a contract. So if you sign a contract that you bring Sedina and then you couldn't bring Sedina, it is a breach of contract. So what does the contract say? If the contract says pay 5 million, pay 5 million. Right. You don't have to go to jail.
Right.
Martin, I want to ask you, the co-accused in this case, Daniel Axim, this week got the Supreme Court to grant him bail pending appeal, and he is now out of prison. If Sedina comes back and decides to file an appeal and then apply for bail pending appeal, given her own conduct, having gone away for this long and all of that, do you think she can find favor in the law and get something of this sort?
It will be almost impossible. It's like the Bible saying that passing a camel through a needle's eye. What she's done, she's ruined her chances, unless maybe some serious medical grounds. And that one, even when there are serious medical grounds, I can imagine that the Supreme Court, the court that will grant a bail will ask for a lot of independent doctors, not just her doctor saying medical grounds. They will ask for a lot of independent doctors to look at that. She's ruined her chances, but it is not impossible.
Right, Martin Kweku, thank you very much for joining us this morning. We're grateful for your time.
You're welcome.
Now, moving on, the University of Ghana Students Representative Council and the Graduate Students Association of Ghana, GRASAG, have formally written to the Minister of Education requesting approval of the agreed-upon development levies for the 2025-2026 academic year. In a joint statement, the student bodies urged that the outcomes of a recent consultative meeting attended by University Management, the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, GTEC, and the Ministry of Education be upheld in good faith. They emphasized that significant concessions were made by student leadership, particularly regarding the initial levy proposals. This move by the SRC and GRASAG comes after weeks of back and forth between university management and GTEC over the approved fees for the 2025 academic year. Now, to get more insight into the concerns being raised, we are joined via Zoom by the president of the Graduate Students Association of Ghana, GRASAG, University of Ghana chapter, Abubakar Sadiq. Abubakar, grateful for joining us. What exactly is your leadership demanding from the Ministry of Education regarding the approved levy amounts?
Thank you very much, and greetings to all viewers this morning. Currently, University of Ghana is into accommodation crisis, and it has happened over years and years. And the student leaders took it upon themselves to initiate this project levy in order to construct 15,000 bed capacity hostel to, ease the accommodation burden on students currently. Now, the project levy started in 2022, and then along the line, we promised to start the project this year. So it was a levy done by SRC differently and by SRC separately. But last year, we realized that, looking at the amount of money involved in coming up with this project, we have to join hands together to start with first phase, so that at least we can begin the other phases along the line. So, in view of that, we are investing management, we wrote to investment management to seek for a parcel of land, and God being so good, in September 12, investment management gave us 5 acres of land, and then we have to commence the project. Now, looking at our financial position currently, we cannot, finance this first phase of 2,000 bed capacity. And we also don't want to go for any facility from the bank, because we promise the students that we will give them a hostel which is affordable, that does not meet the price of the private hostels on campus. Now, we agreed jointly that we're going to increase our levy by 200 Ghana cedis, so that we can be able to accumulate more funds to start our project. Now, we wrote to the management, we wrote to our General Assembly, our governing body, that's our General Assembly and Senate. They approved this levy for us.
Well,
when they approved it, it was a caveat that they approved this levy for us if management give us the parcel of land and if they're about commencing the project as soon as possible. So we also wrote to management, and then they gave us the parcel of land.
Well,
and now we went through the process. Okay. We went through the process, and then even I'm a member of the University Council, and then when we went to council to even go and defend the need for this levy. And
so at least you've gone through those whole processes to get the land and everything, but your own students have pushed against these increments. They say this is an extra, you're taking from them.
I have not seen any students or media, any students anywhere, agitating about this increment. It's some of the media teams were rather agitating and crying for we they believed. And I think that parents will understand that even currently, people are on campus struggling for accommodation. Parents have to decline their walls of attending University of Ghana because there's no room for them to come in and occupy for their studies. Are we, as student leaders, do we need to be on the streets fighting government to come and give us more accommodation, or we have to take a pragmatic initiative to construct our own hostel to ease this burden on students? Currently in my office, I have over 6 graduate students who are currently sitting outside, waiting for me to take them through various halls and hostels to go and seek accommodation for them. Even the exorbitant prices private hostels are charging us, still we can't find room for our people. So the concern is, student leaders are taking it upon ourselves to solve this problem, so that we can be able to ease the financial burden on government. Because now we are realizing that the national cake, everybody is trying to take their share. And glory be to God, the government has given us 10,000 bed capacity project, which is yet to be commenced.
Right.
But as we, the student leaders, we also need to take this initiative. Currently, I don't want to cut this off, but currently, last year, we realized that government even increased, fuel levy by 1 cedis to ease, solve the energy crisis issues. What happened? We are all crying and agitating. But recently, with the Ministry of Finance, when they are publishing how these funds has helped them to pay for ECCG debt that is owing them. So we understand that even if the levy was increased by 1 cedi, say people will agitate. But the descending students or parents who understand the stress they go through to find accommodation for their wards, will understand that we are into a good cause. And I believe that we are promising students that within the next 2 years, if everything being equal, we will have the first phase completed, if everything being equal. So that the students who are currently under 100 can have access to this one. Because now university was running in-out policy. So those who are in the 100 currently, I promise them next academic year, they have to go out and go and find their own hostel. Where are they going to? Where are they going to?
Wow.
So I think that we, the student leaders, trying to mobilize these funds, and our goal is that we want to give them accommodation which is affordable for all, not accommodation that we charge exorbitant prices that even the students who commit money cannot even afford to pay.
Grateful for joining us. Thank you. This morning, we cross over to the Multimedia Group's Thanksgiving service ongoing at the Victory Bible Church International to listen to Kwesi Chum, our CEO.
For the passengers, the one about the cargoes, those who are carrying food from food stuff from
the passengers can speak. The cargo.
Oh, the joy of those who put their trust in you. Oh, the joy of those who put their trust in you. 31 years of your goodness, of your faithfulness. So, team Multimedia, I believe we have every reason to open our mouths. It says that if we have breath, and I want to believe that this is the place where people, this is not a cemetery, this is a place of the living. So if you have breath, let us do it unto him. Let's shout unto our God. 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 Why are the bibri amayeng? Why are the bibri amayeng? And we say, what can we do unto him? We can't do much, but to just continue to put our trust in him, to believe and to worship him. And this morning we'll pray Psalm 1. Which one is that one? Bless my soul, oh my. Bless the Lord, oh my soul. Which one is that? 103. Okay, can you project it so that we all say it together, we all pray together with meaning? With meaning. 103, and we will start. Okay, so let's all do it together. Let it all my soul and all that is within me bless his holy name. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and forget not all his benefits. All his benefits. The benefits of the air that we breathe, the benefits of life, the benefits of even the work that we have. Some people do not. I hear there are doctors who have passed 7 years, gone through, and they're still sitting at home. Nurses, teachers, we report on them all the time. Sitting at home, people do masters, PhD, 5 PhDs, and they are still sitting at home. And God has blessed us to have jobs. So let's not forget his benefits. The benefits of family, the benefits of good health. These are the benefits we have to remember, and I believe that we have to do this every time. So this morning, let's continue and remember him for all the benefits that he has. Let's continue. For who forgives all our iniquities and who heals all our diseases. Who heals all our diseases. Who redeems our lives from destruction and who crowns us with his loving kindness and tender mercies. Who satisfies our mouths with good things, and so that our youth is renewed like the eagles. Thank you. So that's our prayer, that we come to this God, the multimedia God, who has done us well. He has done us well. So this morning we return today. We are going to be like not the nine lepers who left, went to rejoice with their family. We are returning today. We are returning today because he has said in his word that, do you choose? What do you choose? You choose to serve him. And our choice this morning is a choice to come here every year, to meet in our offices every day, to remember that he is the source. He is the pillar of our lives. He is the source of the blessings that we have, and we do not take it for granted. Asembe Minka Enyumbe Amintu of what God has done. Some of us we know to sing. We know how to sing some kind of songs. I know our voices are not in the frame, but it says this song is Dromo, 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 We have
always you make our way.
Let's remember what he has done for us. And let's remember that he has gone ahead of us into this year. And he has said, he will crown our year with great success. So let's step out there with confidence. Let our boast not be in ourselves, not be in our connections, not be in the social media following, not be in the funds that we have, not be in the titles, not be in our positions, not be in our bank accounts, but in him alone. In him alone. In him alone. In him alone. That's our prayer in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Oh, please, let's do it better for all who led us in the prayers. And you may kindly take your seats in God's presence. Please take your seats. Amen. It's time for us to hear from our Chief Operations Officer, and is in the person of Mr. Kenansa. Please, let's receive our Chief Operations Officer.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Multimedia. Multimedia. The word will soon be coming to us. So I was wondering why I'd been called to even speak. Can you project Psalm 34 verse 5? I just want us to focus, and this is specifically to my team. So we focus on 2026. It says, those who look up to him, they radiate in joy, and their faces are never shamed. Those who look up to him, they radiate in joy, and their faces are never ashamed. This is for 2026. That we will look up to him so that we will radiate in joy, and shame will never find us. I just want to say that let us in 2026 focus on the parable of the talents. Let us focus to be called faithful servants. To qualify to be called a faithful servant, you should
Well, that's the Multimedia Thanksgiving. I will cross over later. Right now, let's go to the Transport Ministry, where the Vice President is with the Minister of Transport as part of efforts to address the transport crisis in Accra. Now, the Vice President will later proceed to other places as well. Let's cross over now to my colleague Fatal Bayaga, and he'll be giving us updates of what's happening.
So that we can all come together and find solutions. So I want to thank you for it. I was made aware earlier in the day that you had a meeting. So also thank you for your indulgence, because we have more or less disrupted your meeting. But I'm also very, very much concerned that at the end of your meeting, you get more details that the ministers can share with us, so that we can all team together in finding a solution. It's not an amusing situation. I've gone to the market, I've gone to school, I've gone wherever I need to go to, and I need to return. And having queues all over the place is not the most effective way of anybody spending their time, especially if you consider the kinds of frustrations that the situation is causing. As the Chief of Staff, my Chief of Staff has said, we can also become victims of our own success. You know, when we saw the crowds in town, we all thought, oh, it's just Christmas, which was more or less expected. But it doesn't look like the crowd has left. And therefore, there are persistent issues, and we need to resolve them. So the transport sector seemed to have been waiting to exhale. And you are now exhaling, which is good. But in the process of exhaling, we need to team up and resolve the issues. So these are some of the comments I need to make. And I also appreciate your impatience in getting the problems resolved. Yes, even if for 10 years you haven't had support, it doesn't mean that going forward you should never get support. So we understand, but we also want to plead for your patience. We all know the situation. We all know all kinds of deaths and situations we need to resolve. We are not complaining. We are just asking everybody's support, everybody's patience in finding solutions that work for the benefit of all of us in this country. So on behalf of His Excellency the President, I want to thank you very, very much for your support and cooperation, which you have demonstrated so far. And I know we can count on it going forward. And especially for making the effort to meet with us this morning. I'm very, very grateful. And I also want to thank you for your support for the, is it the 15% reduction or so? Yes. And that's important because it cushions commuters. And who are the commuters? If they're not from my home, excuse me to say they are from your home. So they are it's about all of us. So thank you very, very much. But recently we have received all the reports about the stresses that commuters are facing, especially during rush hours in the morning and worse in the evening. I saw one and it wasn't amusing at all, you know. And sometimes the problem is caused by all kinds of situations, including even exploitation by some of our own drivers. Some long queues at bus stops and terminals, congestion, and all kinds of stresses that come with this situation. And we are informed that our fellow countrymen and women, we want them to be aware that government is not blind to the situation, that we have not seen, that we don't care, we think it's somebody's problem, it's everybody's problem. That is why I started by saying that we need to team up to find the solutions. We believe that the problems have solutions. I may not have any of them. You may have so many of them, and we are always willing to learn. So please continue to team up with us as we find solutions to problems that bedevil our country. And we know the roles of the public sector in transportation. I mean, you carry the burden, if I may use the word. You carry the responsibility, and our job is to ensure that we are lightening the burden so that you can play your roles well as a private sector. This is one way that we evaluate the presence and the input of the private sector. So we depend on you for all of us to reach our workplaces, our schools, our markets, wherever we need to go. And this is also the trust of your responsibility. And we know and we expect that this responsibility will be grounded in fairness, in respect. So I want to encourage open communication for all of us to resolve the issues. So this meeting is very, very important for us. We want to ensure that no passenger feels exploited, you know, whether through fares or queues or even lapses in safety protocols. We need to promote fairness, transparency, accountability in everything that we do, regardless the sector. So I encourage that we also communicate clearly, fairly, respectfully with our passengers or the people who patronize our businesses. So please, with all respect, I want you as leaders to monitor your membership in order to prevent unnecessary negative comments and outcomes. So I want to pledge that the government continues to provide the necessary support to improve the welfare of passengers and of drivers. You know, we have the big push. Fixing the roads is very, very important for us. And at that time, it's not just for the drivers or the passengers, but for all of us. It has implications for every sector, the road, the transport. If I'm sick and I'm going to the hospital, and the driver tells me that where I live has a bad road, and so he's not coming to support me, we can all know the implications. So it's a very, very important intervention. So we want to modernize and expand our transport services to promote and improve access, to ensure affordability and security too for the motoring public. We are taking steps. So we are therefore taking steps to improve the public transport system, not only by retooling, but also, of the state services, but especially of the private sector too. And I hope that answers your concern about the support that you need. So I'm happy to see the smile on you coming. So, in this vein, His Excellency the President has asked me to assure all of you that he will give support to Metromas, Ayalolo, and the private sector. And the private sector with new high occupancy buses in order to augment the services in the medium term. We also have plans to ensure that those that need to be repaired, that the process will be expedited to ensure they can put more buses on the road as soon and as quickly as possible. So my plea is that let us continue to work together to develop a transportation system that prioritizes fairness, efficiency, excellence. And I know and you know that we can. We are relying on each other to make that possible. And we can do this by upholding high standards, treating passengers with respect. And by so doing, we will also strengthen the trust of Ghanaians in the private transport sector. Thank you very much for your time.
Do it well.